Good morning.
Good morning, y'all. How are you today? All right, so we are going to talk today. Last day, Sunday. Woo-hoo! Let's get it going. Give it a brother yell. Yes. So we're going to talk about a brother exclusive called ArtSpira. ArtSpira is the app that drives all of our devices that are wireless. It or helps drive them. It is an accessory that is exclusive to Brother. There's a free part of it. There's a paid version of it. You can go, you do you. You do not have to sign up for a year. If you like projects 1 month, you can sign up for that month and cancel it before your renewal is up. If you want to go for a year, you do get a little bit of a discount. But there's always that free trial for 30 days for you to test it out and see if you like it, period. What do we have different? So we have some new stuff that is exciting for us in the app. It works with all of our devices. It works with our printers, our cutting machines, and our embroidery machines if they are wirelessly enabled, if they have an internal wireless card. Now, when I say it's a Brother exclusive, that means that other B name that we make does not get this. Okay. So this is one of those things that only Brother gets. So it is a true Brother exclusive. If you look in my app, so he's popping my app up here for us. If we look in the app, you have embroidery designs across the top, you have cutting designs across the top, you have printing designs across the top, and you have sublimation designs across the top, which sublimation and printing basically are the same thing. You can if you can print it, you can sublimate it. There are projects, a collection of projects that are in here. All of these projects, they have a video with them, they have step-by-step tutorials, and they have embroidery designs or cutting designs, whatever you have to do with them, okay? And then we have an education tab. I really want you to know about the education tab because in here you will find videos on all of the basics and more are coming every month. So you have how-to basics for embroidery. If you look here, choosing the design for your project. If you're working on a chiffon, what kind of an embroidery design are you looking for? If you're looking, what kind of embroidery files does your machine take? Simple editing on your machine. All of those things are in here. Tips and tricks on how to place an embroidery design. Same thing for cutting. There are basics and how to. The big one for you guys right now is ArtSpira, the ArtSpira basics. How to navigate this app. What is in it? And every time we add something new, we add a video for it. So it may be a couple of months delayed because we meet once a quarter to make a video, but there's always new stuff coming in here as far as videos go to show you how you can actually access and use the app. Now, how do I know whether it's free or whether it's paid? If it has a crown next to it, that means it is part of your ArtSpira subscription, which means you pay for it. That doesn't mean I pay extra for it. It's part of my subscription. So this design here happens to be part of my Spira Plus subscription. When I tap on a design and I see that crown, I can scroll through and there's probably a picture of it somewhere, depending. This must be a project that they have, but it will tell you the size of the embroidery design, how many minutes it's going to take to stitch, and what the stitch count is. It will also tell you the thread color list, and it will recommend other designs based on what you just selected that are in the app. Okay. And if you want to look at one of those instead, you simply tap it and it will show you the information on that. If you go back, it will take you back to your original design. Okay. Now, we also have new features. So if I touch new and I go to the font decorator, we just added font decorator for cutting and for embroidery. My favorite will still stay print data. So I'm going to touch print data and show you what it does. So I touch it and I pick my letter that I want it to make. And I scroll down through here and I pick a font that I wanted to use. And then I say done. And then I touch motif. These are my these are my motifs. I have 3 new ones. I have the steampunk gear looking item, I have flames, and I have a vine. You pick what you want and you tap done, and then you tap generate, and it's going to generate you a combined design, which is super cool, guys. This is like magic, and I love how it just kind of grays it out. Like, let's make it magical. It is truly magical. And there you go. So it's created me a steampunk design based on the letter I selected and the motif. Now, I can take this onto my design editor and add other text to it, or I can say customize. If I say customize, I have other options. I'm going to choose style here. With printing, I have all kinds of styles. I can choose a doodle line and see what it looks like, or NV water. Let's choose NV watercolor. Like me, and say done, and we'll say generate, and it will generate me another image based on what I've got there. Now this is super fun to sublimate on cups. It's great to sublimate on polyester fabric. I mean, these are just fun. But you'll notice this is new. Up here we have different tiles. So my first iteration, my second iteration, and it will go up to 5 of them. So if I regenerate again and it gives me something else and I don't like it and I want to go back to the original, I can tap my original tile and go back to it. We're going to let it do its thing here. There we go. Ooh, I kind of like that one. But if I wanted to go back to number 1, I can say restore number 1. Look at it again and see, do I like that or not? No, I still like number 3. I'm going to restore. Oh, which one do I have? I like number 3. Although that one's kind of cool. We'll go ahead and say done, and we'll say continue in design editor. You're going to tell it what size you want, what size fabric or paper you want it to be on, because we're on the printing side here. I'm going to go ahead and say letter size and press done. And there we go. Now, from here, I can tap my design. I can shrink it. I can come in and tap off of it and come in and add text. Oops, I got a capital O, so I'm going to go in there and edit, and we will come in Ogan. Take off my capital and say go. All right, so now I've got Hogan. I can come in and look at my font. So if I tap my font list, there are now 300 fonts in. If it has a TT, if it has an HQ next to it, it's a high quality font. If it doesn't, it's a regular font available to everybody. If it has a crown next to it, it's part of the subscription version. So let's see if we can find a fun one for printing. There's all kinds of them in here. There's now also, since there are 300 of them, sometimes it's hard to determine which ones you like. So if you favorite anything, you have a favorites list with the heart, okay? And if I touch history, it will show me the ones that I have selected recently. So let's say I want to go with Allison. No, I'm not really crazy about that one. Let's see what Cherry Bomb looks like. That one's interesting. I taught a class and they got started playing with all kinds of different fonts. So I do believe I used Cairo. So I'm going to go hunt for Cairo. So we'll match font to font here. And I do believe Cairo is a freebie. And I can put a heart next to it to say, hey, this is one that I want in my favorites list because I like it. And now I'm done. Now you can increase your font size here, decrease it here. You can increase the spacing here, decrease it here. You cannot go below 0. You say done, and now you're ready to print this design. You just tap OK, tap done, don't save it, and you're ready to go. But we also have this, so I'm going to cancel, discard, and we're going to go back into that font creator, and we're going to go create embroidery data. So for embroidery, I now have font decorator, and I did not have this before. I'm going to tap character and pick once again. Let's choose that H, and we will choose for the H, you pick your poison. I kind of like the Beyond the Mountains. We'll say done. And this time I'm going to sit here and tell you for embroidery, the florals work better. Okay. It just looks better than the leaves. So I'm going to choose the Gerber daisies here and we'll say generate. And it's going to magically do its thing again. Merge these two into something to make them one. I'm not going to dive deep into the woods on this one because there's more to this one that I can dive deep in the woods. We're not going to go there today. But it's going to do its voila here in about 2 seconds. There we go. So there's my embroidery design, and that's what it's going to create an embroidery design from. So now I'm going to say continue in design editor, and it is going to digitize the design for me. I have the same process for cutting as well. So if you have a scan and cut and you want to do the same thing, you can come in and you can change your colors. We're going to go ahead and say create. And then you can tap this and we can go into colors. So if I want the pumpkin color to be yellow, I can come in there and make those yellow. You get to customize it at this point. Tap OK, tap done, and don't save it. And then you can simply transfer it to your embroidery machine. It's ready to go. So whatever is connected to your Artspira account, it's there. You say close, and then you go retrieve it at your machine. Let's say here, and we'll say done. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and say done. Don't save, and done. Okay. Now, I am going home again because we also have some more new tools. And Stace, if you go look under that middle table, there are 2 backpacks over there that I forgot to bring up here with me. In Design Editor, we now have monogramming for all 3 platforms. So I'm going to come in here and I'm typing in my monogram and I will say go and then tap it. All right. You can make it as big as you want. We're going to say transform and touch monogram. And it tells me that font for embroidery is not supported. It's going to change it to something else, and that's fine. If I scroll up, I have 4 styles that are free. My single A, my double A stacked, and my traditional 3-letter monogram. There are 3 styles that are premium styles. These have a preset font that cannot be changed. So that font is that font. You're not going to be able to change it. The top 4, I can change it. If I touch frame, I have 3 free frames and I have 6 paid frames. But you can also combine these with the frame shapes on your embroidery machine. We have 10 shapes on every embroidery machine that we have, and you have anywhere from 7 to 14 different styles, depending on what machine you have on your machine. And if you decided you've done it, we're going to say done. We're going to say done again. I'm not going to save it, and I'm going to transfer it to my machine. I'm doing this for my whole family. So I've done one. I'm just going to touch cancel. And I'm going to go back in and tap the monogram, go back into transform, and then I will touch text, and I can just adjust it for the next person. It will stay the same size. So whatever size I've created it at. So everybody's would be standard. That's an easy way to just duplicate and replicate. I'm going to go back into transform and I'm going to pick one of the styles that I can change fonts with, and we'll go back to my monogram here and say done. And let's see here. We'll make our wreath a little bit larger, and I'm going to tap my text. So now I can come in and choose font. Remember, I have 300 that I can choose from, and I can go in and find them, play with them. One of my favorites is Alex Brush. I have Allura is a nice one. Dancing Script is a nice one. So depending on what you like, you can go forth. I'm going to go ahead and do Alex Brush and say done. and say done again. And then I'm going to make either my monogram smaller or my frame larger. That you have that option. You get to pick what you want. When you're done, you can just say done and transfer that, and it's ready to go. We also have, if I select all of, let's see here, let's tap it and do multiple select, select all, and trash it. We also have now text transformation. So I'm going to come in here and type in all caps football and say go. So what are text transformations? Warp. If I go in here and I touch warp text, I now have 20 different styles that I can of warp that I can choose. One of the ones that I don't have anywhere else in my brother world, where did it go? Am I just not seeing my fish? There it is. There's my fish. So I I used to get this question a lot. How do I get a fish one? That right there will give you the fish style. So if you wanted to have something that's kind of mounding, you can do that. You also have the ability to pick, I don't want that as a favorite, a more bold font, which makes that really stand out. Okay. You also have other transformations. So you can transform it into a heart. You can transform it into a badge. You get to pick your transformation. Now, we don't get to adjust the transformation level, but we do get to pick the transformation, and that's your reverse fish. All right, and that is what's new. So I think, let's see here. Did I forget anything that's new? You get that for all of the platforms for cutting, for printing, and for embroidery. We'll tap it, tap OK, tap done, and don't save. Transfer that bad boy. And it will, your information key down here at the bottom tells you how big it is, how many minutes it's going to take to stitch it, and what the stitch count is. If you want to bring in your own embroidery designs, you can do that as well. That is done through your My Creations area. Free accounts get 20 designs to be saved in their My Creations account. Paid versions get 100. So if I tap the plus sign here and I say import external files, this is where I can bring in my PES files. It does not appear any that I have any on my iPad. Usually I will have it on a USB stick with an adapter here. And you can bring them in that method. Now, what else do we have new? There's one last biggie. And that is called, but here, let me show you the monogramming styles here. So this is monogramming for cutting. So here's a 3-letter, here's a 2-letter, and here is monogramming for embroidery combined with a frame off of the embroidery machine. Okay. Now the next part is sublimation embroidery. Now sublimation embroidery is pretty slick. I'm going to touch it and I'm going to tap create from images. That is the premium feature. Let me cancel that and I'll show you free. If I create from Art Spirit Design, these are all presets for me that I can select. So if I choose the dog, that is a preset image that they put in there for us. I can tap create and it's going to create the embroidery file for me that you're going to stitch in white embroidery thread. What this does is it lets you sublimate on a dark blank or a blank that's not a polyester. You're going to stitch that in polyester thread. We're going to go ahead and say, if you look at the print style, this is what it's going to print. And you'll notice on your embroidery, it has little registration marks, little white tick marks around it. And if you look at the print, and if I zoom way in on that print, do you see that dash line around there? You're going to cut just inside that dash line. So now your print will fit right inside of those little registration marks. You embroider, and then you print. And then you basically heat transfer that stitch file, or that embroidery on top of that stitch file. And if you look at it, look at how detailed that is. That is the biggest thing, is you get those teeny tiny letters and things. So those are built in. If I do my own thing, I'm going to cancel there. create from images is part of the subscription plan. We can choose a photo, and I'm going to pick my camera roll, and let's see what I've got on my camera roll here that I can use. Let's say I want to do, we'll just do the brother experience one because you're seeing what we did. So we created this, and if I wanted to make it smaller, I can make it smaller, and I can tap convert. We'll say okay, and it's going to create that embroidery design for me. So it's going to create the white embroidery design. The print file is already there because that's your picture. So it's going to create that shape right there, which is in the shape of the badge. We'll say create. And it has created that shape, and it's put the little alignment marks in there. If you need to resize it, you can shrink it. So I can tap size, and I can come in here, and I'm going to backspace, and let's say we wanted it 3 inches wide. We can say preview, and now it's going to create it at 3 inches for me. There we go, and say done. And if I toggle this button on, that's going to show you what the image looks like. That little button right there is the toggle. If you change your mind and want a different image, you can touch the change button. We're going to go ahead and say done. We are not going to save it. And there we go. We're ready to transfer the embroidery design. And then we can go stitch it out. And then we print our print file. And if you notice, it's got those little dash lines. You do want to cut inside the dash lines because they will transfer as well. Okay. So cut inside those dash lines, and then you're going to have your sublimation embroidery. You get a really vivid print with about a 6-minute stitch out here. Oh, actually, even less than that, 3,900 stitches. So very quick, very fast embroidery design. All right, I think I'm good. Do you have questions for me? Thank you for joining me today. You came just for this. Did you have other questions? I'll answer anything you want to know. You go for cutting or for embroidery or for printing. Okay, an image is different than an embroidery design. Okay, so if you're wanting to do an image and turn it into an embroidery design, you would choose image to embroidery. If you're going to use it in picture play, you don't have to use the Art Spirit app. Use My Design Snap. Okay. Yeah, use the My Design Snap, bring your picture in there and transfer it over. You're welcome. Well, sweet. I'm glad I could answer that question for you. But yeah, we do it all the time. That My Design Snap, we send it for picture play. That is the fastest method of getting one over there. Yeah. Take it through My Design Snap. It works through for My Design Center as well. Okay. You're welcome. Thanks for joining me today. You have a lovely rest of your day. Sunday, and you don't have anything else you have to be anywhere else you have to be, right? All right. You've checked it all out, have you? Well, sweet. So you get to enjoy the rest of your day. All right, Barbara. We'll see you next time.
All right. Well, welcome to our presentation on 3D Puff on our Brother PR 1060W. So what we will be discussing today is fun with foam. Have you tried any embroidery with 3D foam? Anyone? No? So we have a font that's built in to the machine. It is font number T01. It's on all of our PR professional models. So that means the PR1X, the PR680W, and now of course the the 1060W. So I'll show you the samples in a moment. But what I did, I kind of did a little pre-work. And since Halloween is coming up, I started off with a spider web up here. I started off with a spider web on here. So let's say someone brought me something and they want to add a word, a name, or anything, and I want to embellish it to be a little more over the top with some puff. So I will use my magnetic flash frames. They're 5x7. And since I've already stitched on this, my stabilizer's already underneath. I'm going to show you how easy it is to just slide it on there. Lift up this plastic and just slide it on. I'm not really going to pay too much attention to my positioning because, as you know, this machine has some amazing positioning features. So let's just get it on there, eyeball it. I'm like the queen of eyeballing. Snap those on. You want to feel how easy it is to come on and off? Just pops on like that. Put the next one on there, and sometimes I just make sure there's no puckers. Yeah, really easy. Just pinches off.
It's a lot easier on your hands than those.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. All right. And then if I need to, like if I need to go and smooth something out, I can take one little piece off, pull up down like that. Perfect. Mm-hmm. All right. So up next, I'm going to add in a text. Are you okay with? I'm going to. We're on Facebook too. Oh. If you want, you can sit. Way. No, you can sit right there, and I think the camera can come around you. Is that good? Okay, perfect. No, you're fine.
I just had to see those hoops. Yeah. I've never seen them used before.
Yeah, they're amazing. No, you're fine. Get comfy. All right, so that's what it is. T01. That's the font that we have, and I'm going to add in the word boo. Like boo. Okay, I can add boo. I can add a name. I can add a number, whatever. So I'm going to touch set. And on the screen, it looks like just a regular font. But what you'll notice when it's stitching out, it has end caps, and it's going to keep that 3D foam. Actually, I should show you what foam it is. It's going to keep this 3D foam encased in the thread so that when it stitches and we tear it away, you have that puffy look or that three-dimensional look. All right. So since I just put the shirt in there anyway, I'm going to scan it in and find my placement. So it'll scan the entire hoop. All right, and you'll see it come up on the screen to show exactly where I can take it and I can move it around. But before I forget, I'm going to rotate it because I put the shirt in with the neck hanging down this way. So let's rotate it 90 degrees, and then now it'll stitch out. Otherwise, I'll have to stand the kit on its head so that we can read it right side up. All right, so I have a couple of options here. So I can take it and move it around. I think I want it to be right in the center, in the center, or I can use my arrows to get it more precise. And then I can zoom in some. So if I needed to get it on a line, on a perfect diagonal, we have these options.
Can you tell it to look at the design and tell it to center, and it knows where center is?
If I have my snowman sticker, I can do that. If I have my, so I could put the bullseye part of the snowman right here on the center of the spider web, and then it'll find that center and automatically reposition it to where I want it to go. But since this is just,
just eyeball that.
Yeah, I'm eyeballing it. I'm gonna make sure I line up the middle of that. It doesn't have to be all that perfect because how many perfect spider webs have you seen? Especially after we walk through them and we like turn into a ninja. This will be fine. All right.
The kids spills the juice on it, it won't matter anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Another thing I like to do is audition my color. So since I have something already stitched there, I want to see, you know, what color do I want this boo to be? I could do gray. I could do like a, come on, blue, purple, red, yellow, whatever. So what color do, oh, and also we'll go with the colors that we have here so that it will, we match the color thread to the 3D foam. So what color should we do? Red? A red boo? Do I have red up here? I have burgundy up there. We may have to switch to another color that I have up here. We have purple. Okay, purple. Oh, here we go. I have some purple left over from another one. So this is what it's going to look like once I pull it apart. So I did that on another shirt. I'll show you in a moment. Once we pull it off, it's going to be on there. All right, so we'll do purple. And then edit in. So another thing I'm going to do, since I'm not sure how much of this I need, I'm going to cheat a little bit and pull up my camera. So that lets me know that I have enough to cover it top to bottom. But what about the far? Okay, so I'm going to move it over this way just a little. So I do have enough. All right. So those are just two positioning features that I can use. This one I just kind of use to make sure we have enough of what I need.
It's kind of fancy.
It is a little fancy. We like things fancy over here in Brotherland. All right, so we'll go to embroidery. I'm going to tell it that we're going to stitch purple. So I've got to let's see, plot that out on number 2. And I'm going to speed it up because otherwise we'd be up here for 22 minutes. I'm going to stitch it on 1,000 stitches per minute. That's still like 16 minutes, but let's go ahead and get started. And what I do, I usually just kind of hold it for the first stitch out. Another thing I do is make sure there's nothing underneath.
Yeah, you don't want to show your shirt together.
I've done that. I've done that. I still do that some days. Okay. So while that's stitching, let's look at some of the samples that I have. So this one was, I just added the word cutie on there. The back looks really neat and clean. And depending on the millimeter of your foam is how thick you're going to get. So that one, I believe I did with a 2 millimeter. This one is 3 millimeter. And I think I have a 4 millimeter at home. You can do this just like anything else. You can layer it if you want a really, really thick one. So I could use 2 of the 3 millimeters and I would get a 6 millimeter puff. That would be, you know, really, really big.
So then if you use thicker ones, will it adjust the density of the stitching, or do you have to?
It doesn't have to. So all it's going to do, it's doing this satin stitch. So it does that running stitch first to just tack it down. And then it does that satin stitch over it. And just depending on how much foam you have, is how thick it's going to, how high it's going to stick up. And as you can see, as it's stitching, it's perforating the foam. So once I'm done, I just peel it away. Typical. So once we're done, I can give it whole. I'll tell the bundle now, but I'll tell you the price. But as far as the bundle for this machine for the show special, what we're doing is the stand. We have the hat hoop included. We have the 7 Durkee frames. We also, I had a flyer over here, but I think I can do it off memory. We have.
You can't lower the stand.
You can lower the stand. So this one, it can go all the way down to here.
Yeah, you could drop it. You could drop it. That's the problem I had with the 10 needle I had before, is I couldn't reach it with the threading.
Mm-hmm.
It was way too.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I can read off the bundle. So we have the stand, the cap frame, those 7-in-1 Durkee frames, the BES embroidery lettering software. So it's going to give you a lot more lettering options, more than what we have here on the machine. There's embellishing ribbon printer, and exclusive to Brother, we have Artspira, My Design Snap app, My Stitch Monitor, and then we also have the files that you can download from iBroidery for whichever machine you register. Also, there's a lot of in-store instruction. So when you purchase a machine from AllBrands, you can go into the store for training. It's, you know, as much as you need. Then my favorite part of the bundle. So this is the 5x7 magnetic hoops. You can choose from the 5x7 and the 4x4, or you can choose our fabric printer in our scan and cut. So that's an amazing bundle.
What software, I mean, what embroidery format does it use? Is it PES? Is it DSC? Is it,
So this machine, all of our machines use PES or DST.
so all my DSC files would work?
They will work. So as you know, DST files, they don't save your color information. So PES does. That's what I usually like to bring over.
None of the machines used to do that.
Right, right.
I used to run a contract embroidery shop.
You had what?
I had a contract embroidery shop.
Oh, okay.
I had
What machines did you
a
run?
brother.
Yeah,
I
obviously.
had a 6 head and a 4 and a 3 head and a whole bunch of ones, single heads.
Okay.
All 10 needles.
What do you have now? Do you still have any of those, or do you?
No, I just had to sell my business. I really miss it.
I
The
know.
little machines are fun, but they just don't beat these.
I call these a business in a box. Like literally, you open it up, you stitch one or two things, you go show your friends and your family.
I don't
Next thing
wanna
you
go
know,
into business.
you don't want to.
No business again. This is just for fun.
Just
if I
for
do
fun.
it.
Yeah,
I
and-
used to digitize all my own files.
Did you?
But I love that hoop. Yeah, that
Yes.
impresses me. I really want to look at that little
The
poster
hoop
because
is
that
amazing.
cool.
Here, you can kind of look at this one. So this is the 4x4, and just pinch that off of there like that. Pinch it
Oh,
with
they're strong, aren't they?
that and that. It's kind of like a look right here.
Oh, there's a
Yep.
button.
Mhm.
I was trying to pull it off without the button,
Oh no, you gotta use the button.
and it wasn't coming.
Mhm. So the way that works, you
When you
buy the
take the
driver of
list
that once, like the part that fits on the machine, and then this one will fit on the same F driver as.
So this-
Mhm. Well, you see this part right here?
Yeah.
That's your arm. That replaces your A arm.
I gotta look at how this is put together. This
Mhm.
is so cool. So the fabric goes under the plastic.
Yep. But so when it's on the machine, if you hoop it while it's on the machine, you have about this much room. I just slide it under. If I need more room, I take it off the machine, go ahead and get it hooped, and then I put it on the machine from there.
Yeah, I want to put it on the table so I can look at it.
Yeah.
The fabric goes.
Sandwiched in between. Yep.
It doesn't have the plastic in between.
Right.
This is really, really cool. I love these little.
Well thought through.
How large am I getting? So how do you take?
So those types are 5x7 or 4x4, but the ones that you were talking about, like the Avenir and everything, that's an 8x12. Nope, 8x14.
I don't have
Hello.
the mount.
So this piece right here, it pops up and it allows it to pull off of the frame. Come on in.
I have a 10 needle and I have this. My granddaughter's 21. I made her a pillow when she was like 7
Mhm.
with her name. And I haven't done it since because I don't remember how.
Oh, well, we can definitely help you out with that. You still have it?
I still have the whatever this stuff is called.
The 3D foam?
Yeah, I still have the phone and I
Mhm.
still have the machine 10 needle.
Mhm.
So
So-
you just lay it there and
You just lay it
print.
there, and
and-
it has to be a file that's specially digitized for 3D, because if you notice, you see that first running line, that's going to be kind of like what tacks the 3D foam down, and then there's a satin stitch that goes over it. Because
so what font do I have to use?
so this one it's T01. It's in the machine of the PR, well, the ones we have, the single needle, the multi needle, the 10 needle, and the 6 needle. You also can download other specially digitized files.
Download.
Yeah. So if you don't want to download any other ones
I
on
go to
these
my
machines,
font.
yep. What do you know what machine model you have? Because it may be a matter of updating your
Hey.
machine.
How are you? Fine, good to see you. Pardon me?
Is it at least the 1050? If you update it, so go to the brother site and get when you take it in for servicing, they could update it. You don't do that. Okay, well,
Do I look like, okay, see, I told my grandson my muscle fell. I cannot lift.
typically you would just go to the brother site, download and update it. We can see
Why do
about
I have to do that?
well because
I'll
they
talk to Tammy. I go to Creative Sewing, AllBrands all the time.
okay. Yeah, it's just a matter of just updating the machine, kind of like we update our phones and stuff because our engineers they put it into the new software of it, and when you update, it'll pop up.
Just show you something.
Oh, just FYI, we're live, so I didn't want you to have your
Oh, thank you.
wave to Facebook land. Oh,
I don't know what that
I don't know
means.
what that is either.
So that's what I'm saying about updates.
Yeah.
You know? So what I'm saying, even without an update, I have fonts.
You have
So-
fonts. You may not have the 3D one, but you do have fonts.
But I had 3D before, right? Because I've done it before.
After I'm done with this, let's look and we'll see if we can find the one that you did. Because there is one in here that will work with the 3D puff. It's not necessarily this one, but it will work with 3D puff. So it may have been that one that you tried. I can look at it when I'm done here.
It's
But-
gonna stitch out all the spider web and all that.
No, I already stitched out the spider web, and then I'm coming back on top of it and putting the 3D.
And then I know I had to peel the stuff off very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Or cut.
Another thing. Oh, once it's done, I can show you. And I saw this online, so I tried it. No other good reason, but I did it freestanding.
You know,
So-
can they see you?
If you want, you can pull that
No,
over and
I want
sit.
to get out of the way.
Okay. So I saw this online. I had no good reason to do it, but I tried it. And I overlapped my letters a little bit just so that it wouldn't fall off. I overlapped each one of them. Now, this is not one of the designs that's in the machine. It's one that I downloaded off of a website. And then freestanding, I stitched it on water soluble, washed everything away, used the heat gun to shrink the foam underneath, and then I have this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I have it. You know, maybe if someone doesn't have a machine, they could treat it like a patch or something, put adhesive behind it, or I wouldn't put too much heat to it though. Maybe I'd just glue it on something. You know how you see stuff online, you just got to try it. All right, we're almost done. One more letter to stitch. Okay. Okay. I don't think I showed you all my samples. That's the other one. I'll get my little registration mark off there, but try that one. And you can resize these font letters. So this one was these might be nope, this one's larger than that one. And what I typically try to do is match the color thread to the foam, because sometimes you will have those little edges that the foam sticks out. I think this one's going to do pretty good.
I still have a whole bunch of holes from when I had my embroidery. It's just nothing to cover taking space. You need to get something in you.
Yeah, you got to put it
I
on
used to
something.
do a whole bunch of this stuff. I
Mhm.
use personal digitizing to use.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to have a whole bunch of underlay under this
No
one.
underlay, not much underlay at all, because you don't want to tear that film up.
Mm-hmm. What I like about it, it has those little caps that encase it on the top and the bottom of the lettering. I might have to go in there and add a little spider to this one.
Now, if you have this, you're bringing up some lettering that's already pre-filled. Can you go in and adjust the density of the letters and adjust the density of the underlays?
It will automatically adjust the underlays depending on when you resize it. So we do have a recalculation resizing, and then we just have a regular resizing. The recalculation resize will adjust your density. There's another one in there that will just make it larger. The machine will stop you so that it doesn't get too large and you start missing too many stitches. If you're going to do major, if you're going to do major resizing, you do that in software.
I did so much manual of everything that even with the new software I've got my single head, I go, I want to go in and do this, and it won't let me do it.
Really? What software do you use?
It's one for the, I have the listenable,
Okay.
so it's an older software.
Okay.
But it, like I want to go in and I want to change the density of the stitch because I don't think it's quite covering it enough.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it.
We've come a long way with editing software and with our machines. So I pulled one little piece off that shows you how easy it just tears right on off.
Pretty clean too.
It's really clean. I will say all foam is not all created equal because some of them, you got to rip.
Yeah, you get the tweezers.
Sometimes I'll take a pin and like push it back underneath the stitches. Some people like to take a lighter to it. I don't, because I've tried it before and I've singed my thread. So I use a heat gun from time to time. The final stretch, we're almost there.
Are the tensions hard to adjust on this machine?
The what?
The tensions?
No, a lot of it is auto tension. When I took mine out of the box, I don't adjust my tension at all. I run a tension test. From there, it tells me if I need to. You have the third. From there, it'll tell me if I need to adjust it, and it'll tell me exactly which one because it's stitching from each color. And I'll look at the back. If I need to, I'll tweak it a little bit, but I try not to.
You always tell an embroidery person because instead of looking at the front of the design and turning it over and looking at the back.
You got to look at the back. That will answer a lot of your tension questions. The footprint of this is about the same size as your oven. So if you don't cook a lot, you can pull your oven out. Your stove. You can just pull that out.
My husband doesn't.
And then it's usually right by the refrigerator, so you can stitch and get a snack. So don't worry about that.
I don't think my husband needs these anymore, does he?
Here, do you want to take these off?
Yes. So how do you take the hoop off the frame?
So right here, you just pinch those
That's what
two.
you meant by that.
And you take it out and take it to the side. There you go.
So all the frames, every one of them has this on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was thinking this had to come off, and this would just snap onto here.
Nope.
So
all right, and I'm gonna hold it up this way so the camera can see it. You can pop those off. You can pop them off.
They come off so nice.
So
easy. Love this. It's so easy on the hands.
You could.
I can do that. But the 8x5 is as big as it goes?
5x7. Mm-hmm. And I usually, sometimes I'll store them right here while I'm not using them. Okay. And then we just peel off our little lettering.
That is so cool.
We're all done. We got a blue shirt. All right. Are we at time? We are. Thank you, ladies. Do you have any other questions?
Can you use the regular frames too, other than magnetic frames?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So this one also comes with your 8x14, your 5x7, your 4x4, and I think it's the 1.5 by 1.5. Yeah. So you can use your frames that come with it. There are also aftermarket hoops. There's the Durkee frames, all those. Just got to make sure you trace around when you're using those. All right, well, I'm going to mute here. Our next presentation is going to be about sell what? So Steady. Oh, she always comes after me. So the next presentation is So Steady.
But I guess we can go ahead. Come have a seat. I've got some things to talk to you about from So Steady, and I want to show you this really cute little table that goes with your featherweight. So come on over and have a seat. Come sit down for a few minutes and take a load off. We'd be happy to have you. I also have door prizes. Hey, everybody, come on over. We have a show and tell in the AllBrands booth. Y'all come on over. Come gather around. Yeah. I have giveaways. Come on. I have 3 giveaways to be exact. So y'all come on over. Come sit down. Let me tell you about some of the products that So Steady has. Don't wave. Just come on by. Come sit down. Hi, everybody. Come on in. Come have a seat for a few minutes. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm with So Steady. Come over. I have things to tell you all about. We have all kinds of goodies, and I have giveaways. Come on over. Come have a seat. Come rest for a few minutes. Let me tell you all about our new products that we have. Yes, we sure can. Yeah. Good question. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, we can order those for you. So just come by our booth. Our booth is 938. So yeah, come by there. I'm gonna go ahead and start. Okay. Oh, first thing I want to tell you ladies about is we have a new little table. I don't know if you have a featherweight or not, but we have this gorgeous table. And we've made them smaller, and this is brand new for us. We've made them smaller because everybody wants to take their featherweight off to hi, come on in, have a seat. They want to take their tables and their little machines to classes and to retreats. And they have asked, can you please make us a smaller, fancy little table for our featherweight? So yes, we have taken care of that for you. And it fits in the little travel bag that we have. And so you can get this. This is a show special of 179. If you want the special bag that goes with it, we are doing that for $20. Normally, they are $40. So that is a really good purchase. So I wanted to show you that, and look at the scroll work that they have done that kind of matches the featherweight machine. I think that is so pretty, just stunning. And it comes with a cute little uh, and I don't have it in front of me. It comes with a cute little basket that goes underneath a little drawer. And I hope I didn't lose that on the way over, but I could have. But maybe Jenny took it out because she knew I'd lose it. She knows me better than that. Now, I want to tell you about some of the other things that So Steady has. Come have a seat. Yeah, this is So Steady. Isn't that great? I know. I love it. I love it. I'm ordering one for a friend for next year. I'm going to see her, and she loves her featherweight very, very much. And I thought, what a perfect gift for my friend. She would love that. Now, I want to tell you some other things that So Steady has gotten into. We have this thing, it's called a Get It All box. It is, you can have it as a club and get one every quarter if you want to, or you can have a one-time purchase. Over at the booth, we have those today, and this is the fourth quarter purchase. They're $99, but I want to show you what all comes in it. You get embroidery, and this is Shadow Dizzy Geese. So I think I did not bring that one, but it has all kinds of cute things in it that I can show you over in the booth of things that you can embroidery. It has every embroidery machine out there. Each one has its own special program, like brother would be PES. I know Bernina would be ART or oh, it's EXP. So it's on here. And all of the designs come in like 5 different sizes so that you can pick, if I want to put one in a really small block or I want a great big block, I can accommodate that. You also have the templates so that if you would rather, or if you want to add to the embroidery, you can actually free motion ruler work quilt it. So that comes in the package. There's another one in here. Let me find it. There it is. That one is the spinning ribbon. It's one of my favorites, and that comes in the package. We have a website where you can go and you can get freestanding lace patterns. There is a pattern in here for the shadow dizzy geese, coasters, and picture mats. And so you can make that project and you can quilt it then. There is also Pinwheel Spark. This has a lot of pinwheel designs in it, and you can make a whole big quilt if you want to. And that has patterns and instructions in it. Here's another piece of freestanding lace. To me, that looks like it should go on my Christmas tree. They also have in that freestanding lace, there are earrings that you can make. There is a pillow that Nan Pan has designed, and you can make that pillow. The pattern is in here, and then you can quilt it as desired with the either the embroidery or the I'll get it in a minute. Templates. Yeah. It's the last day of the show. I'm tired. Okay. Spinning ribbons. We have, that is not in here. It is an add-on, but I happened to bring it with me so you could kind of get an idea of the embroidery that goes in it. That's all the designs that's in spinning ribbon. And I'll show you, I made a spinning ribbon. Not this one, it's this one. I also did this on the back, so when it comes Christmas time, I can use it for my Christmas. So those are available, and we have those at the booth. Those are, this is embroidery, but the ruler work templates are there, so you can do either one. And I'm actually, for mine, I'm making a different pattern for every placemat. So I'll end up with either 8 or 12. I'm not sure which. But they're just a lot of fun to fool with. So that's in that you can get it. They're normally $75 for the embroidery sticks, the USB sticks. We're doing those for $60 today. So please come by and pick those up. There is another project in the bag, and I've been over at our booth, number 938. I am working on this, and this is a placemat, or it can be little table that comes in with it, and it has designs on it that you can stitch out, and you can also use either your embroidery or your rulers, either one. There is a little block that you can make, and I think it's cute as it can be. You get the fabric, it's already pre-cut. Here's the pattern that goes with it. We have cute little buttons. There's 3 of them in here. This is $99, but it's a $475 value because there is a ton of education behind it. You have QR codes all throughout here, and you can go online and you can watch how to make all of this. I have a special class next Friday that's going to be, and I'll show you in a few minutes, the project that I'm working on. We have drawing disc. And we have, I don't know if you have a hard time making sure that your binding is cut precisely on the 45-degree angle, but we've made a special binding tool, and it's 3 inches wide, so you can go up to 3 inches on your binding, which is kind of rare. I like that. Wonderfill has given us, there's thread that will be included in the box. I don't have it in here. It's somewhere. And they have also put a spool disc in here. It's foam or felt. There's two of them in here. And then there's a little finish it guide and then QR codes. If you decide, hey, I really like this and I want to join the club, there's a QR code that you can go to and you can sign up. If you do the they will come out every quarter. If you do the sign up, I think they charge you $35 a month on your credit card, and then you get the new box when it comes out. So let me put these back in. But that's our newest projects that we have, and they've been running for a year now, and I've collected them all. I love them. I've been playing with them and having so much fun. Let me put this away, and I'm going to show you the projects that I have been working on. Here's one of the other placemats that I did, and this is from Spinning Ribbons. The one I showed you, I don't think I showed you this one. This one is from Turn Dash. A lot of fun. Here are some other projects that I have made from our past boxes. That is Bartholomew, the bumblebee. And part of all of this was done with ruler work, but I'll show you some that weren't. This is embroidery from one of those USB sticks. The rest of these are ruler work. This is Debbie Dragonfly. She's created, or I designed her from one of those templates. Here's another one. This one's kind of my favorite. This is Penelope. And the middle part of this is actually embroidery. The rest of it is ruler work. So you can combine both of them. And then you can do the what we call the cutaway, which is the reverse applique. That's what I did on these. And so I've just had fun with them. A lot of fun. And you know what? I only have two of you here. So I'm going to let y'all have two door prizes. I don't even have to give you out a card. I have the circle maker that is we're have over in the booth. You can come over. We will demo it for you. And I have embroidery. So I will let you guys pick. And if you both want the same thing, I'll get you the other at the booth. You take the embroidery. Okay. This is a really fun one. I have this and I have been playing with it, and it's beautiful. It's from our sampler set. This good for you? Okay, thank you very much. I'm in 938 right around the corner, and you'll see we've got a little machine set up that is demoing that. You're welcome.
Right now? Oh, hi. Hey, Wolfpack. Hey, AllBrands, brother fans at home. You're missing a fabulous show. Can you see everybody waving? Look at the crowd. All right. If anybody would like to see anything about the Avenir, welcome to the party.
Woohoo!
All right. So, Jerry, I think everybody at home that's been sitting there, it's probably sitting there having a mimosa watching us right now. And they're like, the comfort of my home shopping, or they're
Mhm.
playing on their Avenir.
Mhm.
Leave a comment below because we can see them. Well, actually, John will see them and tell us if there's a feature you'd like to see. But we're going to start with a picture because I can take a picture of Jerry, stick it in the. I don't have a picture of you though. We're going to have to
My
settle
head's
for.
too big for
We'll
that.
settle for a horse. Not literally, but we got a horse. Then we're going to embroider it in like 1 second.
All right, so I'm going to choose picture play, and I'm going to choose the USB drive that is in my machine.
This is awkward.
Oh,
I'm straddling my samples.
Angela, do I have to use a USB to bring in a picture?
No, you don't, Jerry.
What a good transition.
You can send it
You
wirelessly.
can send it wirelessly. Yes, you can. All right,
Hi,
so we're going to
welcome.
choose the horse. There's my horse. We'll set it.
We're showing how to take a picture and turn it into embroidery in 3 seconds.
And as I'm increasing, notice that the size is increasing. So that's how you know exactly what size you're going to get. There we go. And then we'll touch, well, we could remove the background if I just wanted the horse, or I could add different filters around, or I could choose the size by the hoop that I'm using. So notice how the horse changes as I go down with the different
That's
hoops.
really tiny.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask people at home, by the way, have you ever put something in your hoop and all of a sudden it says change to a bigger hoop? You don't have to worry about that now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I could just stitch this out right now. It would take that picture, it would digitize it, and it would turn it all into stitches. But I can play with the picture even more if I want to. So I can sharpen up the horse, make them a little bit brighter, add some contrast, add a little more color, and you can see how now things have changed on my screen. So once I'm happy with that, then I'm just going to go to next. Now this will take a minute because it's digitizing this picture into stitches. And what you're going to see next is an actual preview of the horse on this side and all of my color steps on that side. And I can still edit, still play with it.
So here's Jerry's tiger. There's a picture of a tiger. How long did that take you to do?
Couple hours, if that.
I always count the cups of coffee it takes.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Marilyn Monroe.
Mhm.
Come on in, ladies.
She needs more bling. It's Marilyn. Come on.
She needs
I
more bling.
need to do more with that.
All right.
So there's my horse. I mean, how fast was that? How fast and
But
easy
Jerry,
was
what
it?
if you want to change brands of thread and
Yeah, so
maybe you
that's
don't use that brand?
yep, and that's another tip too. Right now we have it on Brother Thread, but let's go through some of the other manufacturers. So let's just pick Robertson Anton Poly, and we're going to preview that and watch very subtly how the horse will change. Oh, can I do that? Is that a copywritten
You can
song?
do
I
that.
don't know if I can do that. There we go. Notice how it's changed ever so subtly. And there's other manufacturers I can choose as well. But in this case, let's just say I'm happy with that. Now, another trick is we have a memory pocket here. And I suggest that you do that with all of your picture play, because if you want to come back and play and edit even more, you can do that by pulling it up from memory. Right now, if you go on to embroidery, there's a little warning that comes up that says basically you can't go back and play with it. So we're going to keep that in memory.
Kind of like my design center. Once you go
Yeah.
past that certain point, you
Mhm.
can't go back. It's good to save.
And so now I'm in the embroidery section. And again, I can edit. Maybe I want to mirror image the horse. I want him facing the other way. Easy. Let's make a patch out of him. I can add stippling behind.
I
with
love the
one touch.
stippling.
Yeah, one touch. There you go.
Oh,
So
wait.
now-
What about if you want to add a different stippling?
right. Or if I want to echo,
Oh, that would look good.
that would look cool. Yeah. Ooh.
That would look really good.
And then I can also go to the My Design Center fills and choose those fills as well. So I have so many options.
I want to see, for those at home, this is how many fills are in here. I haven't been affirmed yet that the fish were made just for me, but they're in here. Where are they?
They're right, I think they're down here. They're like right at the beginning somewhere. Right there.
There they are. A fish and a horse. Perfect.
There you go.
Who doesn't need that?
Nice.
Very
Alright.
easy. Oh wait, now let's go back to the. Oh wait, show them what it looks like as a projector, but then we should go back and
Oh, yeah.
show how the background disappears and do a filter.
All right, so let's go into the projection.
The projector is amazing. So I know a lot of our brother fans at home have a Luminaire, which is a 3x5 projection area. Now we have 5x8. That's huge. That's
It's
like your
huge.
whole head.
Yeah, nice. We need about a 10x16 for my head. No, but look at, here's my horse. There it is. Right there.
Beautiful.
Yep. So I can edit that. I can write on my screen, right on my hoop using my stylus. I can make all sorts of changes to that. Don't even have to use my screen.
That's the biggest difference. So some people say, I have a Luminaire. How do I, what's the difference between that and the Avenir? Now, if you're below the Luminaire, there's a lot of differences. But with the Luminaire, one of the biggest ones is in the past with the Luminaire, if you want to make changes, you'd come over to the screen and the projector turns off and then you have to turn it back on. Now you can do it from right there and the projector stays on. So what if I want to see the bottom corner of the hoop? You just move it
Just
right
move it.
there.
Yeah, just move it. And the nice thing about this too is you can move these tools out of the way. So if you're
Have
trying to
fun.
line something up left or right, you can move these tools out of the way. So you can move them over to the right, you can move them down. So depending on however you are trying to align something, you can move the tools or you can completely eliminate them. And you have a little icon. So this works much like your computer, the little reduce tool that you have.
Super, super easy.
Amazing. Yeah,
All right, let's show them a filter.
let's do it.
The filters are super fun. If you've ever been on Instagram, you know there's filters. Instagram, not a brother product, but we're going to show you the filters. It's really cool. And if you don't know how to do it, just ask your 4-year-old because it's very simple.
I do that as the children in my computer doesn't work. Oh, just do that. Oh, great, thanks. So we're just going to start over. So we start fresh. Go to next. So check out all of the styles that we have. And if you notice right underneath, it has all the names. So you know exactly what it is you're going to choose. We have Art Deco. We have, I want to see pencil sketch. Let's make the horse black and white. So we're going to preview. Again, this will take just a minute. It's taking the picture right now and turning it into stitches.
What was that song you were singing?
Yeah.
Hey, you're wearing Brother Blue today. Look at that.
I love this. I think this is really pretty. I love that subtle blue that they've
That's
added.
cool.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So somebody asked me last week, they said you can remove the background. And I said, yes, but you cannot remove people, just the background.
Yeah.
So it won't take out the crazy person behind you at the pool.
You can go into My Design Center and use the erase tool to erase your ex if you want to take them out of the picture. You know, you can do that. Yeah. We work alone here. No. Yeah.
Yes. You know what? I never thought about the eraser tool. See, Brother gives you everything here.
Yeah. Check that out.
Oh, that's cool.
Neon sign. Yeah. So you can customize. You can make this as crazy or as nice as you want.
I had someone say that last year we had all the horses in a row and they said there was one that was very unattractive. I said, well, you don't have to use all of them. They're just filters and it shows you it on the screen.
Yep.
And if you don't like it on the screen, you're probably not going to like it on your fabric.
Yeah.
And also the question came up, do you have to change the thread in between? Yes, but they've configured it where it's not a ton of changes. I mean, they configure it where it might be 17 minutes for one color. So you have 2 cups of coffee.
And the nice thing about Picture Play too is it is automatically, the density is automatically built in. So in other words, it works much like a painter who works in layers, and that's how Picture Play works. So you are not, it's not like this embroidery is going to be bulletproof, right? So it does this in
Bulletproof
layers.
as in that is not good embroidery, just in case you didn't know that.
So,
the other thing is on here, when you change all this, you can still change the brand. You could use less colors if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Go back, set him again. Oh, let's see. Need to make him a little bit sharper. Go next. And so right up here, I can choose, again, I can choose the manufacturer or I can choose how many colors. So let's go down to, let's make this very radical. Let's go down
look
to
at that.
six colors and see what happens.
So I would love to know, all of you at home, has anybody use picture play that has the Avenir, because we were talking with Barbara Jones earlier. You all have seen Barbara Jones on here, and she said everyone does a picture of their animal first, their dog. So I want to know at home how many have the Avenir and who's done picture play and what you did first.
I did my dog.
I'm
Yep.
going to do my raccoon.
You're right.
Hi.
Butch. Butch.
Come on in. Is that I had you at raccoon? Come on in.
Yeah.
Grab a seat.
So that's cool. I went
Oh,
down to
that's
two
cool.
colors. It looks like newsprint.
Oh, that's really
That is
cool.
really cool. Yeah,
That was with 2 colors.
that's two.
So that means when you take that to embroidery, it's 2 colors. It might need a few changes, but that's about it.
Yeah. So let's go up as far as we can go. Just fine. So you can
That's
see
like
what that looks
20.
like. I think it's 25, isn't it?
We have new people in the
Gosh.
crowd. I got to go show them the pictures.
30. Check that out, folks. You can do 30 colors.
Check this
This
out.
might take a while.
Isn't that cool? Just from a picture. Hit a couple buttons and you got embroidery. Hi. Come on in.
Wow, that's really detailed.
Wow,
That's
that really
30 colors.
Yeah.
And so the one thing I know that I get asked all the time is, okay, so how long does something like that take to stitch out? So let's find out. In this case, I have it smaller, so it's only going to take 37 minutes. So not much time at all.
No.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so let's show 'em my design center because you were talking about erasing.
So,
Not your picture,
I'm
but
watching. Erasing me. Just get rid of me.
erasing me.
So here's all of our tools here. And we were talking about, like Angela said, the My Design Center with the eraser, and that's right here. So these are, if there's elements on screen that you don't want, you would use that tool and just use your stylus or your finger and just erase it, get rid of it, and it won't stitch it out.
So Jerry, people at home have watched this for 3 days. So it's like Groundhog Day, but not really. But I made this for my husband in my design center with just a few clicks, and I put a couple chocolates in for him. These are fish fills, and I told him to eat the chocolates, and I took it back. I needed it for a sample, but show them how easy it is
Yeah.
to put in shapes and fills. Couple clicks, and you got a mug rug. Great gift idea. Great ideas for pillows, home deck. It's a little addicting, actually.
That's
And now
true. Once
the
you
good
start,
news is I don't have to make one for next year if I can remember where it is. I'll just put new chocolates in there. Except we were in Florida and I put the chocolates in the car. That did not work out very well. It was more like milk chocolate.
so just picked a square and filled it with the fish. Really, literally that simple. So we're going to go to next, and now we're going to have a bunch of tools where we can play with the design. What I love about this is an exact replica of what's going to stitch out. So you can see exactly what's going to stitch out so you don't waste thread or fabric. So we can change the size. Let's make the fish a little bigger. We can also change the direction. So let's put them at 90 degrees.
That's cool. They kind of look like they're sinking.
Yeah, and that's what Angela did. So she did 90 degrees. I can also choose to turn the outline off, which I will do. This is a fun one. If you've never used this, it's called random shift. What it will do is it will take the fish and make them very wonky, make them very contemporary. So watch what happens to it. See how it took the fish and just kind of, it actually made them look like they ate too much.
They look like they after we catch them and put them in our cooler.
You're making me hungry. You can also change the position of the fish as well. So if there's a certain fish that you want to line up with something else, you can change vertically and horizontally how the fish are. So, I mean, it's amazing how much you can customize. Also, you can have a thickness. So if you want it like a triple stitch or a single stitch, that will make it lighter, which I appreciate as a quilter when I'm using these for fill patterns, as quilting patterns. I put it on the least thick, and it makes it just like quilting. Because again, talk about bulletproof. I don't want my quilts to be bulletproof. So. And now once I'm ready, I just send this right on over to embroidery, and off we go.
Do you want to talk about buttonholes?
Yeah.
So
You wanna,
yesterday,
you want to push buttons? We
Sure.
can do that from here.
I'll do it from here.
Yeah.
So yesterday I showed all the new features for sewing buttonholes, and there's a projector that shows you how to line up your fabric and sew buttonholes perfectly every single time. It's crazy. So today I'm going to show how to do it with embroidery. Jerry, do you make jeans?
I do.
Okay.
Guess
So
whose
I do
patterns I
too.
use? Because they're really good. They're really, really
I wasn't
good.
even planning that, but thanks.
I know. Little plug.
So when you go to sew that front buttonhole, there's a lot of fabric right there. And
Mhm.
sometimes it doesn't want to go through the sewing machine perfectly straight. So we have embroidered buttonholes. So let me show you this one. And John, if my arm gets in the way, just tell me and I'll move. So in here, I better put my
No, that's
glasses
good.
on. Hold on. So I don't accidentally hit something besides buttonholes.
My eye.
Here, yeah, here you go. Here are the buttonholes. There's a ton of them. There's the keyhole. That's what I use quite often for jeans, but it's huge. Do you really want it that big? Look now. You've got 5, 4. Instead of just small, medium, and large, you've got quite a few different sizes. It tells you right there what size it is. Let's make it big so you can see it. Let's go with the 5.
I love that because you could see exactly what size it is before you even play
Yeah,
with it.
so there's the buttonhole. You still have edit options. I could mirror image it if you needed to put that keyhole on the other side. You can do a lot of different things, but I want to talk about the border feature. And this is a new episode that's going to be dropping in the masterclass next month. This is so fun. So there's the buttonhole. And if you just add, let's see, let's go up and down. Let's add one above it. Well, that's kind of close, right? So let's spread that out. Wrong way, this way. And it'll spread it out. 2 buttonholes in a row, just like that. Now, maybe you want to add a few more. Go ahead, add another one. And now they're all going to be evenly spaced. And now I have beautiful buttonholes, perfectly evenly spaced, and that's using the border function.
Love that feature.
I know, I think a lot of people forget about the border
Yeah,
feature.
yeah.
So I want to point that out because now you can embroider buttonholes. You can on your luminaire too, but it's super simple. All right, what else should we show on here?
Oh gosh, we are so just barely scratching the surface here. Let's show. Well, if we're in embroidery, let's go on to the fonts. Let's show some of the fonts. What I love about this too is what they've added to the Avenir is a preview now. Before, if you had the preview off, you would have to pick a font and go into editing, just like this, and pick a letter, and then decide if you like it or not. You may like it, you may not. So you'd have to erase it, then return. But now, with just one touch, we have a preview. So no matter which font you touch, you get a nice preview of every single character in that font. So capitalized, lowercase, love this.
Not only that, there's some new fonts in the Avenir too.
There's some cool ones. People were like, can we have a little bit more fun ones? Sure, look at that. I love that. This is my favorite new one. I love that.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, like a shadowed lettering. But I love that. We also have 3 like miniature fonts. So if you're going to do monogramming on a cuff or a collar, you have that option there as well.
All right, John, before we move on, did anybody have any questions for us on there? Hey, Jenny. Great to see you. It's great seeing you all weekend, too. All right. How about edge to edge? Because everybody does edge to edge and quilt sashing. These are no-brainers because we're at a quilt market, right?
Right.
So let's show them how easy it is. All you need is a measuring tape, and that's it.
That's it. So we'll go into the Q not the number 8 category, as I said yesterday. The Q category, and here's all of our options. So I have four different options here. So the first one is a single color with all of these borders. The second one is a 2 color, so you can have 2 colors. The third is a hexagon, and the fourth is edge-to-edge designs that coordinate with these patterns. So
I'm going to step down here and show them this while you're punching.
Let's choose Angela's design
With
here. So we're
10
going to go
hoopings.
into the edge-to-edge. Hers is number 008.
You can peek at it. See if you can find my mistake. There's one mistake.
And we'll
1
set that.
millimeter off on one, but I wasn't ripping it out.
I couldn't find it. Not that I was looking for it. All right, so here I am in my main menu. So what I want to do now is tell the machine how big my quilt is. And this is the magic of it. So watch this. You can go up to 118 inches square. That's bigger than a king size. But let's say we're going to do our quilt is 50 by 80, and I want to just cover the whole surface with utility quilting. So there we go. Not 800.
I don't think it'll go
I don't think
800.
it'll go 800. All right, so now I'm going to hit next, and it breaks it down into 9 hoopings, right? I love this. It tells me exactly what's going to happen here. At this point, I can choose a single stitch or triple stitch. Since I'm going to do a quilt, I'll probably choose a single stitch, but if you wanted the stitching to be more prominent, you would choose a triple stitch. We'll put that in memory.
Oh,
Do we have a power surge? I think we did.
oh no, did
We
we?
had a power surge. Here, let me
Okay.
try this again.
We're plugged into you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your question? Yes. Or you're power surging. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What, let's show her how.
Because that's what I was trying to do, was put it in a memory. Once it's in your memory, it lives there until you
But you know
delete
what?
it.
I have one from yesterday in the memory. Pull that one up.
Okay. We'll just recenter on.
In fact, I'm laughing at, so those at home that want to hear what she said, what if you're doing the edge to edge and you're at number 5 and you got 8 more to go, but the phone rings, you turn the machine off, it's midnight, you're going to bed, and the next day, can you come back to that area? Yes. And there's a couple different ways. If you stop in the middle of your design and turn your machine back on, it'll say, do you want to go back to where you are? Now, if you finish that whole hooping, then you have to do something different, and he'll show you right here. And I did not know this on the Luminaire. This is on the Luminaire too. And I went through all these steps, and one of my friends and brother called me and said, you know, you only had to do 2 buttons, and you made that a lot more work than you had to. So I'm glad you asked that, because people at home are going to want to see this. So
Yeah,
let me
that was
get
a
out of your
great
way.
question. So here it is in memory. So it lives there until you delete it. And so we're going to choose that. Now, look, you can choose the entire design, or you can break this down into separate
Hi,
pieces.
Callie.
So why is separate pieces good? What do you do with your separate
I use the separate pieces because I use cuffs. Sometimes I'll do like an extra piece of fabric. I do garments. But if you were doing a quilt and you did, say you did the edge to edge and you wanted to add a pillow or something like that, you might want little pieces for different areas.
Yeah.
It's very cool, especially on the quilt sashing, because
Yeah.
you get some really cool angles.
Yeah. So I want to do the whole quilt. So I'm going to choose the whole design, and I will set it and watch what happens. It tells you how to hoop. I love that. It shows you step by step how to do this. So you're going to start in your upper left-hand corner, and we'll touch OK. Now it's going to show the projected image of this, and it's kind of letting me know what's going to happen here.
You can see it so well. Maybe.
Yeah. Let me
It
get my,
depends on cameras. Sometimes it has a rainbow. The rainbow does not come with the machine.
let me get my Godzilla hand out of the way. There we go.
Can you see it?
There
Yeah.
it is. I'm trying.
You got
Thanks,
it.
John.
And not only that, I usually draw myself a line that I can follow, or you're using the edge of your quilt. So you want to make sure it's on the right angle too.
And so what I'll do is I will follow the directions that it said, and I'm going to line up. There's a little green crosshatch here. You're going to line that up with the corner of your quilt, and off you go. And if you even hoop a little bit wonky, we don't. It's everybody else that does, right? We're perfect. So if you just happen to hoop it up wonky, you have angling tools, and those will come up as well. So you can angle your design as you want to, and you get perfectly straight alignment. I just did that with an autumn quilt. There's an edge to edge autumn leaves in there, and it was so easy. It was so nice. I got that quilt done in no time.
She's asking what's the smallest quilt size you can get for edge to edge.
Well, let's go back, because it's just easier for me to show you. You could do like, I think 3 inches by. It's kind of crazy.
If you did it really small, you just
Yeah.
put it in one hoop. So you want at least bigger than 18.5 by 11 and 5/8.
So I can
whichever.
go 7.87 inches by 7.87 inches. So I could do like a miniature quilt. A dowel quilt. Oh, that'd be awesome. So that's our edge to edge design. Now let's show the border function, and let's bring up your hexagon, because that's such a great example.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love that. That's pretty.
And this design that's in the middle is built in too. I did this with applique. So you could cut the fabric with scan and cut. Can you see it okay, John? I'll come down there.
Those are
You got it?
fun. So let me go to, there's Ann Alden. There's the designs that she chose.
Okay, now I'll go back to right there.
What Which one did you do? That's number 2. That's
I did
number
this
2.
one. I did all of hers. I love her
I
stuff.
do too. I do too. Yep, that's number 2.
So this is all applique. Yeah. So what I did is once you get to one section, it tells you to cut the fabric, and then you go. So this whole piece is one whole piece of fabric, and then I put the silver on for the stars, and then this was so it's 4 layers of fabric. You can feel how heavy that is.
And I'm kind of doing that on screen as well. So as you can see, here's the design that she
See up
chose.
there?
My first step is a placement stitch for placing the fabric. So the next would be a tack down. Next step would be a tack down. This would then I would lay it all out. It would tack down all of the fabric, and then the very last step would be the satin stitch around everything.
Yeah, it looks like I spent hours, right?
Yeah, it's amazing how
Literally
easy this is.
15 minutes and a little bit of cutting. No. But then the quilt sashing around here, he's going to show you that. And if I sewed this it would be great for a table decor and put a candle on it.
Mhm.
It's still a sample, but I'll work on it.
And so here's the hexagon that she chose.
You saw this?
So we're going to set that. Now again,
Fourth
it's
time.
giving you step-by-step
In
directions.
case you missed something.
So what Angela did is she measured from tip to tip, point to point, and then let's just say, oh, I don't know, let's do 20 inches. Set it, and then you tell it how wide you want the design. So you can go from 1.18 to 3.94. Let's just say 3, and next. Now it's showing how many units that's going to take. So again, it shows you it's step by step. It's just so easy to do. Same thing, it's going to put it into memory. I will choose that and choose my whole design and set it. And there we go. And again, shows you how to hoop.
The hardest part of this one is to make sure you look at the first picture for hooping, because I think every single time I accidentally put the whole piece of fabric in for hooping, and I have to rehoop because it's telling you, put the corner of your quilt area right there, so then you have plenty of room for sashing.
Yep, I've done that too. Jerry, do not put
you've
it
done
in
it
the
too.
center.
I feel much better because you're really good.
Do not put it in the center, Jerry. It goes on the outside.
The blue would be this part here, and then the outside edge is where I wanted the quilt sashing. So it tells me I need to hoop where this section is over here. So I have that corner.
And if you're still not sure, this is another way to check, because it's showing where it's going to stitch. So not inside, it's showing outside on the border. Yep. You asked that at just the right time. Because watch this. Here's the projected image. Now we have a little bunny in the way, but there is that same little green crosshatch. You will put that right in the corner of the design, and then you just start stitching around. And it'll just go step by step. It'll show you how to rehoop. It'll project the next section down. You can align it, angle it. And it's so easy to do. That's why we love Brother, because they make everything so easy.
I'm not even a quilter, and I love this because it's so easy to do little gifts. Those at home that have the Avenir, you know, in the master class, I did a beautiful, it was very large actually, with quilt sashing. And I used the tiny stitches on the back to make a memory table cover where I put the date of my great grandmother and the date and her name. And on the front side was a beautiful Easter, and I gave it to my mom. She won't give it back to me for a sample. She said she's keeping it.
Have you ever made a quilt?
Mm,
You have, haven't you?
No.
You've done little samples, haven't you? You've done little, congratulations, you're a quilter.
Well, I did sleeves.
I've graduated you.
I quilted a skirt.
See?
And it turned out really cute. I've never worn it.
You're a quilter.
And I did
Congratulations.
sleeves. I am?
Welcome to the club.
High five.
Woo,
I'm
woo.
officially a
You're
quilter.
in. Yes.
And guess what? We're out of time.
Oh.
Yay. So those at home, be sure to drop your questions in. Don't forget, if you have the Avenir, sign up for the masterclass. All you have to do is register your machine. It's totally free. There's over 100 videos. You've got embroidery designs. You can see Jerry, the educators, on Tuesdays on the Brother Live Show at noon, and the ambassadors at noon on Thursday. So see everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming in.
Afternoon. Thank you for being here. My name is Emily Thompson. I'm with Brother Sewing as well as my own site, Life So Savory. And today we're going to talk about cutting fabric using the scan and cut. So we'll first talk about some supplies you would need and then some things to think about that will make this easier for you, and then hopefully give you some tips to make cutting fabric a breeze so you can cut anything you want for applique or sewing. So the first thing we have here are two different mats that I like to use for cutting fabric. The standard mat is our medium tack mat. We have a low tack mat for paper products. The standard tack will cut vinyl, plasticky things. You wouldn't want to put paper on here, it'll rip it apart. But I do like to cut fabric if I have pre-backed it with this rubberized applique backing. I love the way it sticks right onto the standard mat. And so I will use the standard mat for applique backed fabric. If I'm just cutting straight up fabric with no backing on it, I will use the stickiest mat, which is the fabric mat. All right, so I'll be demonstrating cutting on both of these. You can see the shapes, you can get really intricate, you can just get your basic outline as well. Over here I have that big happy birthday sign that I cut from felt, and that was just sticking the felt right on the fabric mat and then cutting out the shapes. In addition to the two mats that I like to use, there are two blades that are specific for cutting fabric. We have the thin cut fabric blade, and this is great for your quilting cotton or your thin fabrics, a little bit more delicate. Now, if your fabric is at all stretchy or at all thick or at all textured, you would want to use this rotary blade, and it actually has a tiny round rotary blade right on it. Now, things you want to think about with the rotary blade is similar to a real rotary blade on a cutting mat. You can think about that you can't get into tight corners, you can't make sharp turns. This blade is the same. So if it's super intricate, this is probably not going to be your best bet. But if it's large, or if you're cutting flannel or fleece, then I would use this blade. I also use this for felt, like for the felt letters, because it's just a little bit thicker. And you can try to cut it with the fabric blade, but this is probably going to go over that like 10 times trying to cut through the felt, and this one will cut right through it in the first pass. All right, so if once we have decided what we're cutting out, what are the shapes, then you can go ahead and load your mat onto your machine and cut through it. So I'm going to start with the standard mat with the backed fabric, and I'll pass this around after I cut it so you can feel what the backing feels like, and just get a little feel for this. This is the Brother applique backing that I have on the back of this fabric. It's not sticky, and it actually feels a little bit rubbery. So that is perfect because it doesn't stick to the mat. I think it'll be easier if I sit down here to show. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab a design in the machine, and let's choose maybe a flower. The machines have built in hundreds of designs, as well as they work with the Brother Art Spirit app, which is a mobile app that's free to buy or free to use and has hundreds more designs built in. Also, in a paid section of the app, the premium version, there is even more designs. You can also use any SVG file that you buy or find on the internet with this machine. All right, so let's grab, I'm going to do this one with the center so that you can see it can cut inside and outside. We're going to make it a little bit smaller. You can easily resize your designs. You can change it by a percentage if you want it, say 10% bigger or smaller. Okay, so we have that there. You can also, you can see now what it's going to look like. You can also tile it. So if I want to cut 20 of these at the same time, I can just go ahead and put 20 in, and it will lay it out nicely right on my mat. All right, so you can see that it automatically places whatever I have chosen to cut in the upper left-hand corner. That's just its default location. Now, I could count the squares on my mat
to move it over to where my fabric is, which is about right here. But I can also use the scan function on this mat for placement. So that's what I'm going to show right now. So on here, you hit the scanning little button, and it's going to pull the mat through the scanner, and then it's going to show me exactly what is on my mat. So if I wanted to cut 10 flowers of 10 different colors of fabric all in one pass, I could simply lay out my squares of fabric on the mat. You can see I have 3 different ones even right now. And then I can drag this flower wherever I want to cut it out of whichever fabric I want to cut it out of. All right, so I'm going to show you cutting it with the thin cut fabric blade. So we're going to put that right into our machine, lock it down, and then it takes away the background. So we just have the mat again. We're going to select cut. This machine takes care of all of the pressure, the speed. It's going to set all that for you. You'll notice here in a minute, it will measure the mat, then it will measure the material, and then it will just go ahead and cut what I want. So I don't have to set anything. So right there, it's going to measure the mat. Now it's going to measure the fabric. All right. So now we can go ahead and reveal the little flower that's been cut. It also has the center cut out. So I'll go ahead and pass that down. And you can also feel the applique backing. I'm going to cut a little bit larger piece out of the basketball with the rotary cutter. All right, so that's using the thin cut fabric blade. We're going to go back to the home screen. We're going to grab a letter. I'll cut a letter B out of the basketball. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. You can see here, this is the font size, and then down here is the actual size in inches. We're going to set it, and again, we can see that it put it in the upper left-hand corner. Now, I already have the scan of my mat. I did cut out the section of this pickleball fabric, but I still have this basketball fabric that is not cut. So we're just going to go ahead and move the B over. I do not need to rescan. That fabric did not change. And then we're going to go ahead and hit cut and cut the letter out of that one. Oh, actually, I don't want to cut it yet because I want to put in the rotary blade because I just wanted to demonstrate that cutting feature as well. Okay, so now we'll hit start. On the screen, it will tell you approximately how long it plans to take to cut it. It sometimes does update the time depending on the difficulty of the cut and the type of fabric that you're using. You'll notice that the rotary blade is lifting up and down, and that's because every time it wants to turn or change direction, it's lifting so it can rotate that blade. This is why it's great for like stretchy fabrics or more difficult fabrics because it's not dragging through, which sometimes just tears up your fabric rather than cutting it. So it might take a little bit longer, but it's going to make sure that it's cutting it accurately and not making a mess of it. All right, it says it's finished. Let's lift and see. All right, looks like it did a good job. So we cut out the B, including the inside. Here's another one with the fabric backing or the applique backing. Feel that and pass it around. All right, so I just wanted to show one more thing with the scanning and the cutting. So I've showed you how you can just cut out designs that are built into the machine. You can also do the same method if you're transferring designs from online to your machine. But we can also, back to the home screen, we can more fussy cut some fabric designs from fabric from your machine. So we're going to just go straight to the scan. I'm going to straight scan to cut. And I'm going to start this, and it's going to rescan my mat. And the reason I'm doing this is because I have some cute little fabric with ghosts on it on my mat, and I can just tell the machine to cut out one of those ghosts. Say I want to applique it, or I just want to have that machine or that part of my fabric cut out. So any fabric that you have, you can scan in. We could also cut some of the pickleball fabric. But so now I see very clearly, this is the leftovers of my basketball bee, the fabric and the flower that we cut out of it. And now we have this ghost fabric as well. So I do not need to scan all of that. All right. I don't want to deal with all of those lines. So I'm going to reduce it down and just try to isolate this one part that I want to cut. I won't be able to get it perfectly because it's just a little screen. Now, if I had a big piece of fabric and it was kind of getting difficult to do this on the screen, you can also scan your mat and then you can send it over to your computer, which I have a much bigger screen to be able to edit before I cut. So depending on what I'm doing, I would definitely import it or export it to my larger screen to be able to play with before I came back to the cutting. All right, so we have that little piece right there. All right, so now I can see I not only have the ghost, but I also have a little bit of this letter right here and a little bit of this letter. So we're going to go to edit and we're going to delete some of those extra little pieces that we don't want to cut. All right, so now we cannot go back and forth, which means we only have one piece selected. If I wanted to add an outline, so I don't want to cut right at the ghost. I want to cut a little bit extra. So for seam allowance or folding, you can increase that. So we just increase the outline around, or we can go right in tight and cut right on the ghost. All right, I think we're ready to cut it. So then we'll go again to the cut screen. We can see the shape. Now this time the placement didn't pop it in the upper left-hand corner because it knows I actually want to cut that ghost, which is located right there. So we'll go to cut and we'll start. Actually, I'm not going to. I'm going to put my thin fabric blade back on because that's going to be able to do the detailed cut that I want. Then I'll hit start. It'll measure the mat. It'll go measure the fabric. I know I haven't changed the type of fabric, but it doesn't know that. So it's going to go ahead and make those adjustments before it cuts it out. Again, this is fabric backed with the applique backing just to give it a little more stability, but I could do the same thing with the other fabric, and I'm going to show you here in a minute fabric without the applique backing. All right, so here's our cute little ghost. You can see that I did increase the border just by like 1/10 of an inch to give myself a little more room as I am going to work with this or applique it. Okay, let's talk about cutting fabric that does not have an applique backing. So this fabric has been lightly starched, and I've cut these shapes of the same types of fabric, but we're going to cut using these two pieces. Again, we'll use the thin cut fabric blade as well as the rotary blade to make a cut out of fabric that is just fabric. Are your mats the same? No, so this one is a standard mat, which is our medium tackiness, and that one has the backing on it, which holds it, that little rubberized backing. This is the stickiest mat, the fabric mat, and that will hold direct fabric. So if I'm not appliquing, I don't want to waste my applique backing. Why would I put back fabric that I'm not going to be applying anywhere else? Then I can just cut direct to fabric. I did lightly starch my fabric, and that is simply to give it a little more structure and allow it to cut just a little more crisply. It also allows it, if it has a little bit of stretch, to reduce that stretch and the likelihood that my blade will catch on it. And when I pull it apart, like for example, this one that's a little more detailed, you're going to not see a whole bunch of frayed little pieces coming off of it because of the starch holding it together. Now, if I want to get rid of the starch, I just dunk this in water, rinse it out, let it dry, and then I could use that not starched. Okay, so once again, we're going to scan our mat. The material I'm going to want to cut is not here in the upper left-hand corner. So I want to find out where is it so that I can place the heart that I want to cut directly over the fabric that I'm cutting. Okay, so now we see this little shape that I cut up here, the H, and the two pieces of fabric that I'm going to be cutting. So we're going to drag this heart right on top of the red snowflake fabric for ease of cutting. This will be with the thin cut fabric blade. We'll cut the first one out of that. It's going to measure the mat, measure the fabric, and then it will begin cutting. All right. So here is the fabric. I will say this red snowflake fabric has been a bit more heavily starched than I would normally do. So I'm going to also show you the other fabric, which is a little bit lighter. So that one I got a little aggressive with the starch. I'm going to put the rotary blade into the machine. I'm going to go back over to my scan page so that I can drag the heart over to this other fabric. I don't have to rescan, but we are going to cut it again. Again, I put the rotary blade in the machine and we'll go ahead and cut the second fabric piece. Thank you. All right, so we'll reveal the second heart. This one is not quite as starched, but you can still feel the structure on there. And that one's cut with the rotary blade. So essentially we have the same cut with two different blades. Again, the rotary blade is designed more for some of those thicker, more intricate, or not less intricate cuts out of more difficult fabric. I love using it with felt, leather, items like that you're just not going to get the great cut with the thin blade. Not on the hearts. Those were just starched fabric. The ghost and the basketball have the iron-on backing. So if you put a stable or an applique backing on, you're not going to want to put that backing side down on the fabric mat because it's so sticky it will tear it up when you try to pull it off. So fabric only on the fabric mat or leather or felt, but you're not going to put down your if you do back it and you want to use the fabric mat, then I would flip it over, mirror your image, and cut with the backing up. But then if I have a standard mat, then I just put that backing side right down on there, and that rubberized backing sticks on there. Now, if you're using a applique backing that's more like a web or more like a woven, you're not going to want to stick it straight on there because that will also rip it up. So then I would probably cut it fabric side down on the fabric mat. Or, of course, this had like a protective paper sheet on it when I first used it. And you could put that on the low tack paper mat, paper side down. So just depending on what mats you have, what you're trying to do with the outcome of your project might depend on the mat that you're going to choose to cut it with. Any other questions? All right, I'm around in the back if you do think of anything that you want to ask about the scan and cut. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah.
Color coding, embroidery design.
Huh. That doesn't really mean anything to me, so I'm not really sure. Sorry. Color code.
Ready whenever you are. This is a rinse and repeat. Hi guys, I'm Cindy Hogan. Good to see you all today. So glad you could join me on this last day of Quilt Fest and then last demo. I've had the pleasure of doing number 1 today and the last one today. We're going to talk about the Celeste sewing only and some quilting solutions that it provides for you. Now, the Celeste comes as a sewing only and an embroidery only machine. This is our sewing only version of it. We're going to talk about the laser guideline first. I'm probably doing this in a little different order because I changed feet out first. So we're going to start with the laser guideline, things that make your quilting life easier. The laser guideline is probably my number 1 things that makes my quilting life easier. So if I'm doing binding, it has been a long time since I pinned my binding because I have a laser guideline on almost every machine that I have. So I will basically line her up and we'll put it underneath the foot. We'll lift our foot up because we have a little button on the front and tuck it down in there. Now, I'm going to choose straight stitch center. Your straight stitch center here. I can choose the one with the little 2 lines at the top. That is a go forward and back reinforcement stitch, or the single one. That's the reinforce in place. I'll grab that one and we will touch the scissors and that will automatically engage my reinforce. My pivot is on. That means when I stop, my needle stops down, my foot raises up, so I do not need a knee lifter, which is awesome. And then we're going to turn on the magical button called the guideline. And since I have center needle position, I want my guideline at 3.5 because that is center needle position. All right, so if you look, I have a little laser guideline going down the center of my fabric. So I'm going from corner to corner with that laser guideline, and we will simply press the go button. If you are like a foot pedal, you can do that as well. I did not bring a foot. Oh, somebody has my speed up. I wonder who that somebody was. Would not be me now, would it? And then, I should have hit my reinforce key and I didn't, but there you go. So now you've got perfectly done binding without having to mark or pin. My next little trick is half square triangles. So you can do this as 8s or you can do it as 2s. It just depends on what you want to do. I simply mark the center line of my half square triangle. Okay. Now from there, I'm going to change to a piecing stitch, which is over here, my Q stitches, and I'm going to do piecing stitch right. Okay. And then I'm going to change my laser guideline over to 12.5 millimeters. So if I have a 1/4 inch stitch selected and I have 12.5 for my laser guideline, I will have a 1/4 inch stitch from the center needle. So instead of having to mark twice, all I have to do is mark once, put my foot down, put the laser guideline down the center line that I've marked, and take off and go to the races. And then let's trim and flip, go down the other side. Good. And I can even do that standing up. So there you go. And if you look down on your table, you actually, the extension table comes with the machine. And if I put my stitch to stitch, I have a 1/2 inch between them, which means I have a 1/4 inch on both sides. All you have to do is slice and dice down the center. So those are those tricks. Now, let's talk about some other stitches that we have before I finish up with binding here in a minute. But we're going to talk here. All right, so we're going to do some stitch tapering. Normally I would change to my end foot for my stitch tapering, but I did not bring the end foot up. So we're going to go ahead and go without it. We're going to touch tapering. And I have been doing the tapering stitch with the move it foot. We don't need the move. We're not going to do the move it foot today. That gives us access to more stitches if we don't have the move it foot on. So let's say we want to choose this tapering stitch right here. Notice it doesn't look anything changed. Nothing's changed here on the screen right now. I'm going to go and touch my tapering settings. Once I touch that, that gives me options. So I have a 60-degree angle for the beginning and ending of this particular one. I am going to give him room to where he can see the screen at the same time. This is special. I will change to the selection, and I can change for the angle, and I can change my end angle. If I match those two up, I can do a little square. We'll say, okay, you do want to have stabilizer underneath your area. It does make life easier. You can choose to end your tapering stitches with a reinforcement key if you want to just play it by ear, or you can choose the number of repeats. And as you choose the number of repeats, this tells you the approximate size. Your cheater way of knowing things is 25 millimeters is approximately an inch. So if you want to go 4 inches, that's about 100 millimeters. So 109 is as small as I can, is as close to 100 as I can get this one. We will put our, I don't want it 100 inches. I don't want it 4 inches. Sorry, we're going to go down to like 75. 78 will work. So it's going to take off and go to the races. This one I'll speed up. And I left my guideline on. I did not need to. There was no need for that. Let me get my hand out of the way. But now, see how it stopped? I'm going to pivot. You'll notice I took my scissors and my reinforcement key off on this one, because if I leave that on, if I want to turn a corner, I can't really, it will tie off and trim though. And that's not optimally what I want to do. I just want it to do my little stop at the corner with a pivot. And you can make yourself a little frame this way. Or you can do it for leaves, you can do it for flowers, you can do decorative things it's up to you. You get to play and have fun with it. I'm not going to try to match this one back up. We're going to go ahead and say no go. We're done. It's lifted, and there's my pivoting stitch, or my tapering stitches. So let's talk binding, shall we? And we're going to talk the move it foot while we're talking binding. All right, I am going to take off my open toe foot and put my little move it foot on here. It is a plug-in foot. It's a belt-driven walking foot. We love this foot. It is the bomb. Let me plug that bad boy in. It's the compact move it foot, so it has more space underneath it. We're going to close and cancel our stitch tapering. So I'm going to go to just stitch number 1. Pick the center stitch. Here we go. And cancel stitch tapering. I'm going to go 1-4 is what I've picked. And I'm going to take this back to center position, basically. We'll deal with it from there. Okay, so I am going to find my move it foot on this machine comes with all 5 move it feet. That includes the couching foot, which I already have yarn threaded through so that I don't have to fight with that when I'm talking to you. So it's the move it foot. And then you have your open toe and your closed toe foot. So all 5 move it feet come with this bad boy, which is awesome. We're going to use our 1/4 inch one to attach binding. And then we'll use our stitch in the ditch foot to pull the binding to the front. Okay, so I made my binding strip earlier with my laser guideline, right? Now we're going to come in here, and we've got our 1/4 inch foot on. So with our needle in the center needle position, we're going to be right at a 1/4 inch. If you want a scant 1/4 inch, you can adjust your width to where your needle position has moved to the right. I'm going to go ahead and press the start button. Or I could, and I'm going to slow my machine down because I'm not a speed sewer today. Now, we're done. Normally, I would take this to the ironing board and I would press my seam, right? The bobbin didn't pick up. All right, guys, I do not have this. I'm down to a very low bobbin, and I have been doing free motion quilting, so I have not put the same intensity, same weight thread in the top of the bobbin. I've got embroidery bobbin on there. We're good. We're going to come in here. That was priceless. You know, did not sew a single stitch. We're going to take it down and go again. Here we go. Never don't sweat the small stuff, gang. No big deal. You simply take it and go over it again. Let's see if I can get my hand out so John can see. All right, we're going to trim it, and we're going to take it and we're going to flip it towards the front. Now, normally you would press your seam and you would bring it to the front, right? Well, in a perfect world, we would do that, but we are not in a perfect world today. We are in a convention center. So let's see here. We're going to take our stitch in the ditch foot, and we're going to take this and we're going to pull it to the front. Okay. And we're going to make sure it's covering our stitches, and then you're going to put your stitch in the ditch foot right on that guide and put your foot down. I want my needle to just catch my fabric. So I'm going to change my width of my stitch or my left-right shift. Either one of those will move my needle to the right. If I increase my left-right shift, it will just move my needle over to the right just a little bit. And then I will usually drop my needle to see if it's where I want it to go. And if it is, I'm ready to take off and go to the races. Keep your stitch guide up against the fabric. I'm getting the Viewer's Choice Award. We just didn't know that, did we? And then you've got your binding on to the front, and it is perfect, guys. And you're just in the perfect spot. All right. So these are tapering stitches. These are Tina's samples of tapering stitches. They have been so good. These are tapering. These are some of the decorative stitches. Now let's talk. We've talked binding. We've talked this. Now let's talk free motion and what we can do with free motion. So we're going to switch to the Intelligent Stitch Regulator. That is new with the Avenir. We get it on the Celeste as well. There are two machines that we have in our lineup that have a stitch regulator. The Celeste sewing only is one of those two. The only other one that has the stitch regulator on it is the Avenir. Okay. So I'm going to take this, screw it in, and plug it in. Okay. Now, Jerry is the queen or the king of free motion quilting. I will sit here and tell you that has never been my goal in life. But my goal in life is to make it less intimidating for you all, so that you will embrace it and try your hand at it. When you put your stitch regulator on, your screen will say, I can start free motion quilting right now. That needle's going to continue moving regardless of whether your hands are moving. And you have basting, the third mode, which is going to put a basting stitch on. Now I'm putting a little glider on here. This does not come with the machine, but it does make free motion much, much easier. Your fabric just slides over the top of it instead of having a little grip to it. Okay, so if you are one of those that want to stipple your own thing, I highly suggest you doing something along these lines, because you will become a princess of this. You may never make queen status, but you will become a princess of this. My highest form of flattery was when Tina looked at me when we were at an education meeting. She says, you don't stink. That's the highest form of flattery that one educator can give to the other. Oh, you don't totally stink at that. So anyhow, I'm going to choose number 1. That means it's going to stop when I stop. I can do a straight stitch or a zigzag. If you're thread painting, you may want to do a zigzag occasionally. I'm going to do a straight stitch. Now, I like a shorter stitch length because it gives me the ability to go around curves. So I have saved myself a setting. There are 3 settings for the memory of the stitch regulator. So I'm going to touch retrieve and I'm going to choose the one I want to pick up. So I've got one that has a lower height, I've got one that has a higher height, and I have one that has a different stitch length. So I'm going to retrieve number 1. My stitch length is at 1.7. And I'm going to turn my laser guideline off for this because it's a little distracting. On the Avenir, I can actually put a dot down on here, and that makes life really nice. And then I'm going to start stitching. And a stitch regulator, guys, is training wheels. You are learning how to do this. You're training yourself on how to make the movements so you can go slow. There's no need to go fast. And if you go off the lines, who cares? Because you'll do it in an erasable marker of some form. You can use chalk if you stencil chalk. I personally had my Scan and Cut draw my stippling for me so that I didn't have to worry about it. It was a perfect use of my Scan and Cut, one of the tools that I have. But if you had a stencil that has stippling on it, go forth and multiply and have fun. But don't feel the need to go really fast. If you go fast, you will eventually outrun your stitch regulator. But if you're a speed demon, what's controlling my speed is my hands. It is not my speed controller. So I personally use my start stop button with this because when I stop going, my stitch regulator is going to stop and it's going to flash at me and tell me it's time. You either need to move your hands or you need to press the stop key. Now, if I go into continuous mode, however, and I stop, you'll notice that my needle is going to continue to go up and down. It moves until I press the start stop key. Reason I don't use the foot pedal is because I don't want to have to sit and hold my foot pedal down for days thinking that it's going to make it go faster or slower when it does nothing besides start or stop the machine. If you're doing a whole quilt, you don't want to have your foot on the pedal for the entire time. All right. So that's that. Now, another way that I have been having a blast with learning how to free motion, and I think everybody in our area has had fun watching these people come to life. Thread painting is a great way to learn how to control the motion of your machine. It's a non-threatening method because who cares if I'm perfect? It's thread painting. I mean, his shirt, I have no idea what the original colors were because I thread painted over the top of it. I can tell you his glasses were black. One thing I wish I had done before I came to the show with this panel was to stabilize it on the back of it so that I didn't have the puckers. But really, this was a learning experience for me. And if you do, grab you a little panel and just simply free motion a little bit. If it turns out bad, who cares? Throw it away, put it in file 13. But on the off chance that you get something you like, you can have a blast with this. It's very therapeutic. I'll sit here and tell you, it's very therapeutic. Just play and go. Get your motion. So what I've learned, you'll notice I didn't turn my fabric. I'm moving my hands and making it go like this. And you just get a motion. And I mean, when I get into close spaces, I'm just kind of doing this right. I'm barely moving my hands. So, I mean, the dog we have decided is probably our favorite character among the 3, because Fido down here has this University of Tennessee, no association with brother, University of Tennessee collar on. So, go Balls. It was a good game last night. All right, last thing. Oh, I forgot to talk about couching. Do I have time? Yes, I've got plenty of time. All right. I can go for as many hours as I want today. 4 o'clock. No, thank you. All right, let's roll this back up. Oh, by the way, the regulator comes with 3 different feet before I forget it while they're sitting here. You get 3 feet. You get the open toe, and it just slides out. There's a little lever, and you press the lever, and then you take one, tuck it in, and push it in. They're super simple to take on and off. Okay, just make sure that you don't hit your needle. But you get your open toe, your closed toe, and your echo foot. Put those away and take this out. All right, You also get the brand new zipper foot that we have, and it's a super duper foot. We're jealous that it got it before we did on another machine. So this foot will let, I'm going to couch with the move it foot, but this foot will let you couch with couch ribbon with. You just slide it through that hole, and then you can slide this to wherever you want your needle to go. So this is our new adjustable zipper foot, and you can get it right up against the zipper. It is super easy to use and a wonderful thing. All right, my stitch regulator tells me you have been unplugged. I'm going to go ahead and touch OK on my screen to close that out, and I am going to take my move it foot and attach it back on because I was silly enough to take it off before I did couching. But honestly, guys, it's not hard to put a foot on and off the machine. They are super simple. They just simply snap on, and this one screws in, and then you plug it in. Now, what is the number one thing that will make your move it foot not work? If you do not plug that bad boy in, it is not going to move. Okay, you will be pushing on it, and you're going, "What in the dickens is wrong with this?" And I'm going to sit here and tell you, we have all done it. And anybody that tells you that they have not forgotten to plug it in, they are lying to you. Are they not? We've all done it, and our stitches are like teeny tiny, and we're like, "Why is this not working?" The reason is because we forgot to plug that bad boy in. All right, so I've got my yarn in there. We have a couching guide that comes with it. I'm going to tuck me some yarn in the couching guide. And we'll just set it up there. You don't want it real tight. You kind of want it loosey-goosey so that it can go its own way. Now let's use that laser guideline one more time. So I'm going to come in here and turn on my laser guideline, and I'm going to decide where I want to put it. So if I want to stack it right next to this, a good way to do that is just simply to move my laser guideline over as far away from the needle as I want it to go. So where do I want it to land? I'm going to put it about right there. Okay. Now there are many stitches that I can choose from. Anything that's going to do a side to side motion will tack this down. I have been using on my quilting stitches this little wave. Okay. Yeah. The little wave is what I've been using. You want to pick something different. Anything that's available to me is fair game, but really you want something that's going to grab it. So, I mean, I could use a zigzag stitch, or I guess that's the lightning bolt stitch, but I would really want the width of that to be much wider. I'm going to go ahead and go with the little swirl because it's kind of gives you a cool motion. I'm going to line my guideline up with the last couching that I did and put my foot down and take off and go to the races. So I've set my machine up for auto foot down so that when I press my start button, my foot automatically drops and I do not have to go in and put the foot down and put the foot up. So auto foot down is your friend. Once again, my bobbin thread didn't pick up. Great. Let's try that one more time. It did pick up at the end. All right, let me take out my stitch. There we go. And we'll try this again. Okay. Now there's my yarn. It's been couched down. Normally you would put it with a coordinating thread or an invisible thread so that it just couches it down. Sometimes you may want to put it in with a rainbow flavored thread. So let's say, what am I trying to say? A variegated thread, rainbow flavored thread. I could not think of the word variegated. All right. It is day 5 on this, right? All right, guys. So that is couching with it. We have done couching. We've done everything. But if you want to know how to set your settings up for auto foot down, if you touch your settings key, this is the bomb. It is a time saver right here. Auto foot down. Turn that guy right there on. He's on page 3. He is your friend. All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks so much for joining us at Houston Quilt Fest. I have the pleasure of saying ta-ta, ta-da, goodbye, ta-ta. Till the next time. Have a good one.